Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Marvel Legends review. This time I have the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure Wave Avengers Iron Man Extremis. That was a mouthful. Retails for $24.99. I was able to find mine at a Target about, like 2-3 months ago. Man, I've been slacking on reviews. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's take a look at the box first. So front of the box, you get some nice artwork. On the side, you have your Puff Adder and the other figures in the wave. On this side, it does have the Extremis armor, but this is the one before he gets this version, which is a lot more sleek, so kind of inaccurate there. There's your legalese at the bottom. At the top, you got the A logo, and on the back, you just have what the figure includes and all of that extra other legalese. But let's go ahead and take a look at the figure and accessories. Accessories-wise, comes with two fisted hands out of the box, which is still on the figure. Comes with two open hands that have a repulsor hole in them. And then you get two repulsor or just blast effects that you can either plug into the hand or you can plug into the foot of the figure. It is all the way towards the back though, so if you are trying to get a flight pose and you want to include these, I'd recommend doing it like this. You know, traditionally, when I think of Iron Man, I think of the repulsor coming out of his foot in the middle. But let's take a look at that figure. I tried to get the colors to match so that the background wasn't contrasting too much with this and kind of like blending together. Thankfully, I was able to make the background and the foreground not too similar in color. But this figure was the one Marvel Legend I wanted the most. I know it sounds strange, but I don't collect Marvel Legends. I don't really like the build-a-figure aspect of them. So when there was leaks that this particular Iron Man suit was going to be, revealed and up for sale, I was like, yeah, I need to get that because I absolutely love this armor design. It's what inspired the MCU's Iron Man Mark III, I think, and a couple other suits. But there's a good reason why. This suit is fantastic. It does so much well. The color scheme's great. But yeah, good comic run too. Watched a couple things, read a couple of the comics. Pretty good. But figure itself, though, it does have its issues, and people have already talked about them. Basically, the pose that was on the back of the box, show that real quick, where he's doing that kind of like superhero pose. You can do that, but it's very difficult with this figure. But there are ways to get around that. But for me personally, the two things I like to have in action figures is a butterfly joint and an ab crunch. Of the two, I'd rather have an ab crunch, and this figure has neither. So as you can see, this figure here, this is all just one solid piece of plastic, and if I bring in the Hattutsaraze in here, you can see his ab crunch. Well, it does make it look more clean on this figure, and while this is a completely new sculpt as far as I'm aware, this is as far forward as he's going to get without modification. It's really not much. It's very akin to a McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure. So if you're looking for ab crunch, you're going to have to basically take this upper torso off and then basically cut like a divot in there so that he can get a bit far forward because he's not getting very far at all. Also, my upper torso sometimes rests to the side like this. So trying to get that centered properly is not always the easiest thing to do. I do have some paint issues on this forearm. You can see there's quite a few scratches. That's out of the packaging. That's not from me doing that. But every other bit of paint on here, there's not much. Looks good. Although the one eyebrow on the right you can see is a little too high. It doesn't bug me too much, but still, given that these are plastic-free packaging, there's no window to see the figure itself to see if the paint is good or not. Also on the arc reactor, it's hard to tell, but there is a bit of a gradient. Hold on, let me see if I can... You can kind of see how there's a bit more yellow on the outside towards the top parts of the triangle, and it's more white towards the middle bottom. I do appreciate that, even if it's very subtle, to the point where it's almost not visible. I really do love the sculpting on this figure, though. They did a good job. I do feel the feet are a little too long, though. Like, those are some big feet. Like, most people, their foot is the same size as their forearm, and you can clearly see that the foot here and this forearm, they're definitely not the same size. And yes, I know he's wearing a suit of armor, yada yada, but I mean, let's see if I can. You can definitely tell that this forearm is way too small. The foot is way too big. That's. I mean, I think that's the only real visual problem I have with this figure. Otherwise, everything else is kind of a nitpick, such as the knees, the elbows, and this section. They're all a darker color than the rest of the figure. On camera, it doesn't look as bad. I think on the knees, it's most noticeable how it kind of has a different shine to it. Yeah, you can definitely tell on this knee. But again, it's not something that concerns me all that much. And of course, because they use metallic plastic, there are some metallic lines, like there's one right there. There's one going down on the triangle of the head. And speaking of the head, let's get into articulation. I mean, look at that. That's really all you want in an Iron Man figure, right? Like everything else is just just whatever. But if you can get the head to look up, you got a flight pose. It's that easy. And if you want to, crank it up more, you can pull the figure back like this and get him to, go upwards. I really do wish that this came with a butterfly joint so they could have connected the shoulder to it, because when you pop the shoulder up like this, it doesn't want to pop back down when you pop the arm down, so you have to do that manually. It is a very thick rubber plastic though, so I don't expect it to warp too badly over time, but if you're using heat on it, I would be very careful. You get, 360 here, you get swivel here, you get double jointed elbows here. Oh, fully pin this figure, by the way. Sometimes I forget to mention that. He can't go all the way up, but, it's good for what it is. I don't expect Iron Man to do some, like, gymnastics or somersaults. I already showed you, but swivel all the way around here. With the legs, you can move these up so that you can get, full range of movement out of them. These are a little stiff, though. Of course, you got a swivel there. Double jointed knees, which that kind of looks weird, but it ain't too bad. The sizing of them is correct. And then the foot, of course, you can bend forward and backward and pivot as well. Good articulation. Just wish there was an ab crunch. Otherwise, I can do without a butterfly joint. Really wish there was an ab crunch. It's kind of sad. All right, let's get him nice and good here. And let's do some size comparisons. See if I can get it to stand properly. He stands at 6.5 inches. I think that's what it says on the back of the box. Oh, it doesn't actually show the height on the back of the box. That's strange. Some of the plastic-free packaging that I know of does. Anyway, since I already showed him, here he is next to the Hatit Zaraze. And another Hasbro line. We got Lightning Collection, Dino Thunder Black. Good figure. Speaking of good figures, let's look at Tiger Force Outback. There's all your Hasbro themes represented. Next up, let's get my Batman black and white Amanda Connor statue in here for the 7-inch scale. Spartan Yoroi from Jazzwares. Drew McIntyre, Mattel Elite. And DC Multiverse. Since I was talking about him, here is Batman Beyond. And I forgot to do this with my last review, but here is a Mega Constructs figure, just to stick him in there. Obviously, you're not going to put them together in a lineup, but I thought I'd at least put that in there. And of course, my minifigs in the back. One more thing I want to do a size comparison to, just because I have it on the table, and it's also red and yellow, is this Mountain Dew Kickstart, which is tomorrow's review, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I like this figure. I wanted it, so it's something that I wanted, but I would recommend getting this on a sale, not because it's bad, it's just, this is all the accessories you get besides the ones on the figure. And, no ab crunch, no butterfly joint. It's very disappointing to me, but visually it's a very good looking Iron Man. Some people are not too happy about the color scheme. They wish it was a bit more of a brighter red, but I think that given what the comic looked like, I think it's pretty close, in my honest opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see me review any more Marvel Legends figures. I'd really love to get the No Way Home 3-pack That's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, but I don't got the money for that. I barely got the money for my Lightning Collection figures over here. But anyway, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. It all helps out the channel. And as always, peace.